A big night. Well beaten at Sale last time out. Only 3 wins in the last 18 in all competitions. It is not a team with any great momentum behind it, but it is a team bolstered by some big name returnees this evening. Ford, Tuolangi, May, Genge, Cole. These are players that really should make a difference, Ben.
Well, there's a lot of pressure on those guys coming back in. Austin and I were talking before the game. Almost they need to keep a lid on that, because the likes of George Ford could feel like he has to do too much to justify that faith that the Tigers fans and players and coaching staff put in him and what he can do for this team when he's available.
Man is charged tonight, Wayne Barnes, by this time very well acquainted with the high-octane pressures of an East Midlands derby. No stranger to a red card, of course. Tom Wood, Alassane Tuolangi, Dylan Hartley, they can all attest to that. So we're ready to go. Saints, by the way, have won 2 of the last 3 Premiership derbies. Tigers 6 of the last 8. But once again, the gloves are off, and it's time to start this very local, very unique squabble between Leicester and Northampton.
Okay, time to run, fellas, please. Watch on.
Forward. Landing it on the 22. And Nairavoro, Asplund Robinson, the new man on the Tigers wing, grappling very effectively with him. You've got to throw everything at a guy like Nairavoro, as the guys are saying pre-kickoff. Fired away by Dan Bigger. Tidy enough. And 2 10s tonight who no doubt will be really looking to express themselves, having had a frustrating and yet influential time in the Six Nations simultaneously.
Despite Bigger not being the automatic first choice for Wales, Ryan O'Driscoll named him in his Grand Slam Six Nations team of the season.
Over the top it's gone, gathered in at the tail and hacked forward by Reinach, who's hurtling after it. Oliver Feller is back there, and Reinach has done very well to scrag him. Look at the big gain here from Northampton. They're 7 metres away and the Tigers are scrambling. Youngs trying to provide some kind of angle for a clearance and a tidy exit. Sam Harrison in there, looking to organise and bring a bit of order.
And use it!
Charge down.
22.
And beyond the in-goal area. Great work from Gibson.
Well, Gibson, so good at this. The charge down. Leicester get away. Sleepy start from the Tigers. The overthrow at the line out. And then maybe they tried to build that long ruck, but no blockers in place for Harrison. But that ball over the top. And Olo Afela does really, really well to gather the ball and then not panic when he gets tackled from Reinach. Stays on his feet, stops dead there just to allow himself time for his support players to get there. Important intervention from the fullback.
Tuala just checking to his left, checking that there were quality numbers on the chase, but it's taken by Thompson. Some energetic stuff here from Guy Thompson, playing in the number 8 shirt tonight in the absence of Kalamafoni. Wide they go for Johnny May. Early touch for England and Leicester's very prolific winger. Spencer. Harrison affording himself just a little more space behind the ruck. And Bigger, who is almost unparalleled under the high ball.
Use it.
Both sides not really wanting to play in and around the 10-metre line at the moment. Want to waste phases, give the opportunity a chance for the opposition to turn you over.
Well, Fela takes it on the 10-metre line. Turns effectively. There's Genge. Another of those who've Showing little glimpses of brilliance during the Six Nations Championship.
Forward,
Forward. It's gone halfway to the moon. Underneath it is Reinach. Gathers Tuolangi and the ball.
tackle all the way you come.
Bigger. Bit of space opening up on this side. Nairavoro's through the tackle of Spencer. But the ball is now with Thompson of Leicester. Forward. Using Williams.
A lot of bodies for Northampton on this side. They managed to slow the ball down.
It's Kyle Eastman.
Go the side.
Dan Cole won his 85th cap for England in that final match of the championship.
Use it.
Dramatic one against the Scots.
Forward, stop.
Forward again,
Yep.
now looking for some territory. Oh dear, that's sloppy from Nairavoro. That's well forwards.
Wayne Barnes waved, but it went backwards.
Extraordinary.
The only thing is, he was falling backwards. So did the ball actually
Come on.
go forward?
Here's Gibson. Onwards we go. Nairavoro will be breathing a hefty sigh of relief at this point. Here's Moon, Alex Moon, who shone in the Premiership Cup final against Saracens last Sunday. Bigger. Wide he goes for Brousseau, this bustling South African over the 10-metre line and through the tackle, not held, says Wayne Barnes. Onwards through Van Veek, well hit in the tackle. Thunderous tackle from Ellis Genge. And Saints pull forwards and Gollins is away. Those yellow boots flashing forwards over the 22. Reinach's on his shoulder. What a try this is for Northampton. Reinach again. Collins with the lightning burst from inside his own half. And the Tigers are stunned, not to mention severely disgruntled.
A big shot comes in from Genge there, but Leicester just a little bit guilty of backing off. Brendan O'Connor steps in, and Collins, what footwork and ability to manipulate the defence. And is there anyone better at getting on a shoulder and preserving the right line to give the cast-iron pass an opportunity than Reinach? Just look at how he bides his time, treads water, while Collins is using his footwork to create the opportunity. And he's got the pace to finish it off. Brilliant start from the Saints.
That's a sensational try from Northampton Saints, and you take your chances. It was a clear knock-on, but they've played on and they've gone through 3 phases, so they can't go back and look at it. What a brilliant finish. The moment Collins made the break, you just thought, who's going to be on his shoulder? And it's Reinach. I'm sorry, but
How is that not forward?
well, it is. It's forward by a mile.
Everybody in the stadium will have seen that. However, Reinach takes his chance and Bigger nearly squeezes it past Oz.
Well, just looking at the try, and Ben picked it up. Leicester find themselves with slow guys in the outfield. Cole gets blocked off, and O'Connor on the outside steps in and creates the space. Tuala spots it with a wonderfully timed pass. He takes 2 players out. And the one guy you don't want bursting through the middle is Collins. Aspen Rollinson's done really well so far, but he bites in on the wrong defender rather than picking up the support runner in Reinach, and they go over for a brilliant finish.
Well, he has been in sensational form, hasn't he, Cobus Reinach? His 10th in the Premiership, his 15th in all competitions this season. And space here down this flank again, this time for Francis. Tigers need to reset the dial here because Northampton are coming at them thick and fast, and they are making important ground, both in the wide channels and up the middle at the moment. Tuala. Harrison. Bigger, or not red.
First one, knock on. It did hit the arm, so it's knock on.
A cheer for Wayne Barnes, who spotted that one.
I don't think me or you were near enough.
It's not a knock-on, it comes off his head.
Straight off his head, actually.
It's not a knock-on.
Oh dear. Francois Van Veek, who is Now the recognised starting loose head, he seems to have edged out Alex Waller, who's conceded a lot of penalties this season. The South African seizing his chance.
He's fired up for this. First kick-off had a bit of a scuffle with Manu Tuolangi. Had one with Ellis Genge as well. His opposite number.
And a free kick to the Tigers.
Hold your weight, please. Scrum again.
Oz.
Just looking at those restarts, and you've seen it time and time again with Nairavoro. You home in on him, and Asplund Robertson's done a really good job on the first two. He goes straight for him and ties him up. What you've got to do, though, if you're covering the blind side, is you've got to protect this space. You can't step in, because if you step in, this guy's offloading game is so good, he creates space. They scored a try early on in their last game like that through him. They did it in the game before, and it's something you will have seen in the analysis, so you can't bite in on him if you're the last man.
That's Tangeli Nairavoro.
That's the danger, isn't it? You try and cover that guy by putting an extra body on him. And it creates a big space somewhere else, someone else to exploit.
It's a pretty wild delivery from Harrison at the base, and very good bit of work from Manu Tuolangi. Harrison to Ford. Through the middle goes Kitchener. Looking to free up the arms, is beyond the 10-metre line. Harrison is in there scrapping for it.
Thank you, Cobus. No, just wait up.
May for O'Connor, keeps it alive. Oluwafela.
Just hard.
Youngs. Good tackle from Ratuni Yarawa. Forward again to the gain line. Eastmond. Extra power in the carry from Tuolangi. Forwards. Oh, lovely little hole. Tom Youngs is through it, and the support is good from Harrison inside the 22. First time ball in hand for Leicester. Whipped away early. Oluwafela, little shake of the hips. Youngs for Williams. He's buying a little bit of time here for Leicester. Ford, surrounded, pops it up for Harrison. Eastmans, Thompson alongside him. Harrison again, quick ball for Tuolangi. Spencer. Patience here from Leicester. Fish. Attempting to effect the jackal dummy from Ford, then the short ball to Youngs. Works so nicely further up the pitch. Ford again. Well held by Van Veek, who's looking to effect this strip, and he's managed it as well. This is Tuala. Spins through the tackle of Oluwafela.
Not now, off your feet! Keep going, face off. Okay. Ball's now valuable. Use it.
So a lot of hard graft in defence from Northampton.
No touch.
And Reinach has rather got underneath that, but he's cleared it away out of immediate danger. Austin.
It's better play from Tigers, isn't it? You've just got to take your chances. So it's a wonderful break by Youngs. Just picks the wrong pass. He goes to his right side as we look at it. He's got Johnny May on the outside, the fastest guy on the pitch. He scores under the posts. Unfortunately, he goes back the wrong way and the cover gets there. Northampton are being very clever at all the rucks. They're laying body on the ball and they're letting the tackler roll back into Harrison. So it's just slowing down that phase play ever so slightly.
That defensive issue for Northampton caused by Hill being slightly offside. He tried to check his run and in doing so created the little gap for Tom Youngs to run into. Thompson,
Harrison, Tuolangi. Shutting him down early tonight, Northampton. Cole.
Tackle!
O'Connor. Ford. Search out those open spaces in and around the fringes of the ruck. There don't seem to be too many of them at the moment.
Don't touch him.
I'm sure Leicester are protecting that ball overly well. Through it goes. Now Ravoro watches carefully.
It's a good choice by Manu Tuolangi. They'd ended up with 2 slow rucks in succession, and then all you find is a defensive wall coming towards you. Look at the numbers there. There's 4 or 5 on 3 Leicester attackers. Put the ball in behind and let your forwards try and apply some pressure to the line out.
Clear the gaps. Clear the gaps.
Tuolangi, who happily for England started every single game of the Six Nations. Remarkably, he's missed only 1 Tigers game this season through injury. Such a relief to see him playing without any part of his body being in trouble. Good burst here from Harrison, a typically energetic burst. Francis, lovely dummy at the moment. There are plenty of holes and quick ball for Reinach. 3 men in the backfield for Leicester. Oliver Feller.
Roll clear, please.
And the penalty.
You turn the ball over because 5's still around the ball. 8's legal.
It's probably about 5 or 6 rucks too late, that. I think that there was a lot of balls and bodies over the top of the ball, people rolling into 9. Wayne Barnes wants a good competition at the ruck, and he's certainly been allowing it, but I think that'll probably set the tone now.
14 minutes gone, first penalty.
I think it's bright from Northampton. They're playing it exactly right. They're frustrating Leicester. Leicester are carrying really well. They're winning a lot of those collisions, but they're not getting the benefit they would have expected because they're not getting quick enough ball.
What a kick. What a kick from Ford. I know this has been a theme of yours, Austin, in recent times, hasn't it? Because you were of the feeling that George Ford last season wasn't really going for enough on those occasions. He's certainly gone for broke there.
Yeah, you want to be a world-class 10, you've got to put world-class kicks in every time. And that is a world-class kick. Takes Leicester to within 8 metres, and now they get a chance again.
Kitchener calling it, goes to the tail. Taken in, and this is Genge. Wrapped up by Bigger, who's done enough to slow things up at least. Youngs. Harrison searching out the options. Cole from a rather stationary start. Having to work quite hard to turn.
He's not on the ball.
Ford.
Not how.
Once more Genge.
No, too long.
Harrison with Williams to his right. Johnny May for Harrison, inside to May. Nice little 1-2 between the 9 and the winger. Now it comes out. Surely there are chances here. Eastman goes wide. Aspen Robinson into the corner, denied. Brilliant bit of defending from Northampton.
Reinach again. Watch the angle of his body as he hits him. I think Robinson does well to get that close in the end because the ball just stops him. It's just a little bit too high behind him. Look at the body angle there. Reinach gets underneath the ball and he's helped on the inside.
He strips it with his right hand as well, just to make sure that Aspen Robinson can't reach. Great bit of defence. Leicester just finding that space thanks to that little 1-2. Johnny May, Sam Harrison, and then Kyle Eastman, a really good ball player, and he sees Nairo Ravoro stepping out of the line.
Good depth on the kick from Bigger, but Aspen Robinson takes it early and Thompson is on hand. O'Connor.
Okay, you've pulled him there. You've pulled him there. Don't go in there. Don't go in there. You've pulled him off his feet. That's why it's play on.
Harrison locked over the top of it, but his namesake in Tigers colours gathers it in and sends it on its way. O'Connor, good power onto the ball. Ford, Kitchener, again it's Reinach who makes the tackle. Absolutely everywhere at the moment. Ford attacks the gain line, Thompson is right there.
Advantage, side.
Eastman with the clear out.
Yeah, free ball.
Johnny May. Change of decision, then the acceleration. Tackle made by Moon. And Harrison goes over the top. Nairavora, well, he's touched that and has run in for a line out. And options here for Leicester.
Yeah.
Penalty here.
Coming back either for the original penalty or that is being offered as advantage. It's the same result as if they want to go for the corner, so it's whether they want the points
for the entry by
or the line
Gibson,
out.
or a line out where the touchy is just down there.
It's Gibson there, the tackler, not
Just
getting
right
back behind the gate and then stealing the ball. Northampton so hard at the ball, and Leicester just find themselves slightly under-resourced at the breakdown. But look at those action areas, all at the moment, bar probably the try.
Yeah.
Jamie
Down
5%.
in Northampton's half, and a lot of play that they've had to defend in the 22, but the score shows the opposite at the moment.
Well, they've turned down the chance of points. And they're putting everything behind this line-out effort. Wonderful noise inside Welford Road. Brilliant take from Williams.
Brilliant, because he got nudged from behind. He didn't get the jump he wanted. They're not going to make the most of it. Well, unless they get gifted an opportunity.
You did touch it, came off your arm. The ball's available, then scoot back.
So another penalty.
Just about doing things accurately at the right time when you're under the most pressure. And just at the last line out, Leicester didn't manage it. Mike Williams, just watch, he gets a bump from his back lifter here. There, just knocks him forward. He wants to go straight up in the air, and Spencer just maybe too tight on him. He'll have had a chance while George Ford was going for the corner just to discuss that.
Again, the Tigers have taken care of the line-out. It's Kitchener who's let the highest. It's been smuggled to the tail. Ben Youngs with some assistance from the back division. Tuolangi and Asplund Robinson are in there to assist. Search is on for the ball. Cole. Not too far away.
It's Reinach again who saved the try.
Harrison using the tight runners, and Genge again from the scrum half. Now a bit of whip from the ball, and the intercept taken by Tuala. Saints on the counter. Ford in the backfield, having to rebuild for Leicester. Tuolangi is asked to truck it up, and that is exactly what he does before Gibson swallows him up.
Ruby for Leicester. Francis was offside.
It's 12 offside in front of the kick. 12.
Pretty sure Leicester will take the point now.
Almost gets it away, Eastman, doesn't he? If he does this time, it's a walk in the outside for Johnny May. It's a great intercept.
He then kicked the ball in 12 of in front
to
of him.
Arla. But I think with the cumulative penalties here, it might be a good idea to go to the corner again.
I thought it was banging front.
Just make sure he's
Oz,
just make sure he's
so
all
might
right.
change it now.
I'd go to the corner, try and get a drive on. One more penalty, and you've got to be looking at a bin.
No, not him. It was when he kicked it, the bloke in front of him. Yeah, it's a good catch. Go for goal.
Yeah, the intercept was fine. It was Francis who raced forward once the ball had been kicked forwards, and he was in an offside position. So some pragmatism from George Ford, which will no doubt be greeted with approval from Jordan Murphy and his troops.
Right.
Top point scorer in the Premiership this season.
Good work, Dixie, thank you.
He's been kicking well from the tee as well, 85%, including his last 15 for Leicester. There we go, set him up. Points. Finally points after a huge amount of possession and territory. And satisfaction for family Ford.
Yeah, I totally understand what Oz was talking about, but just the other danger, the flip side of it, in not going for the points then, is they've had so much possession, they've had so much territory. If Northampton score next, suddenly that's for a team that's lacking a bit of confidence, that's a big kick.
That collision success as well tells you a story about Leicester winning a lot of those collisions. Northampton's defence been very, very strong so far, holding them out. It does take its toll, particularly with, as we said, that 5-day turnaround.
Yeah, they made 76 tackles to 28 from the Tigers after 23 minutes. Ellis Genge is on the move. And Ford happy to play down Saints End. Nairavoro. Oluwafela quickly up and clings on to one leg.
Second man, second man. Second man. Second go. One go and then a second go. I did call.
So penalty Saints. Chance for us to talk to Ant Allen, part of the Leicester Tigers coaching setup. Ant, let's deal with the scoreline first. Just a couple of points in it, but you've had a huge amount of possession. You'd have been hoping for a few more points on the board with those sort of stats behind you, wouldn't you?
Yeah, a little bit more, but you know that's the game. Sometimes you've got to take your chances. We will get opportunities. We've seen that so far, playing off 40. So you know that will come when we look after the ball and we get some quicker ball at the breakdown.
Do you have a view on the Saints try, given the Nairavoro knock on the 22?
You know the officials are doing their jobs. It's not being called, so we play on. We've just got to deal with what we can deal with and get on with it.
Expertly dodged. Thanks, Ant.
Cheers, thanks.
Line out possession for Saints. Reinach freeing up Hutchinson inside for Nairavoro. Reinach again. Very much the controller of operations here tonight, as ever, dictating terms from the base. Moon in the carry into Will Spencer.
Tackle now, fellas. But he's lost forward.
It's gone forwards. Tigers have it.
And take a step. Advantage over, kicked away.
Harrison not finding touch, finding Tuala. Bigger for Francis. There's some space on this left flank. Hutchinson cuts inside. Oh, he's done Guy Thompson all ends up.
Oh, he should have offloaded to Reinach. He was through and under the posts.
And Leicester win the penalty.
Yeah, Jordan Oluwafela picking it up and Hutchinson just trying to leave his hand on there, buy his teammates enough time to get to him. Austin's absolutely right.
13 made it.
It's a great step, isn't it? Off the left foot. Then he goes to the infield. Reinach's there. He hits him with a pass. It's a difficult tackle for Dan Cole.
What a good step originally, though. Everyone expecting the ball to go out to Nairavoro. Uses that, uses Thompson over committing.
Line's yours, fellas, okay? Line's yours.
Look, here we go. They're all expecting it out there. Over drift.
Yeah, one more pass might have done it. Rory Hutchinson, who is enjoying something of a purple patch at the moment. Player of the month for February. Excellent last Sunday off the bench. Player growing in confidence and stature. Delivery not ideal for Harrison, who's taking it upon himself to tidy things up. Lovely offload off the deck for Williams. Very nearly a good pickup from Youngs, but it's gone forwards.
First look on.
Yeah, error of Williams. He saw the opportunity to offload to Youngs too late. He saw his support player and tried to go through with the motions. It's easy to say with hindsight, but should have just held on. Here's the first one to him. Really nice. And Youngs in support. It needs to go immediately, but he can't quite. He tries to go through with it.
He has to throw that pass, doesn't he, just as he's going down, rather than throwing it as he hits the ground.
Yeah, watch shot, please. Barnsley.
A couple of interested parties. Tuatavaki and Hartley unable to take part tonight. A reminder that we've got a double header for you tomorrow on BT Sport 1 and 4K UHD for Saracens Quins from the London Stadium, 2:30. And then we're off to Kingston Park for Newcastle against Sale. Big match for the Falcons. That's at St James's Park, 5:15. BT Sport 1 and 4K UHD. Exeter Bath is our offering on Sunday afternoon from 2:30. And then next Sunday, and frankly all next weekend, our attention switches to Europe. Clermont up against the Saints in the Challenge Cup quarter-final, 5:30. BT Sport 3 HD, but all the European games in the Champions Cup and the Challenge Cup, BT Sport the only place to watch all of the matches.
First
And that all starts on Friday night at the AJ Bell, where we're
Just this is how
involved
they
in
use
Sale
it.
against Connacht.
This is how they use this man so well, off the back of a line out. But Leicester are expecting it, they know it's coming, but look how many Leicester players it drags in. 3 players involved in that tackle. It's a good collision from Leicester. They don't get any momentum, but if they don't use it next time, there could be a space just outside it.
Okay, we're going to come closer because you can't keep that balance that far apart. Up we come, please. That's to the left.
Hardly needs a spotlight on him, does he? Hard to miss at 6'5" and 19.5 stone. 15 defenders beaten.
Get your balance
against the Bears in the last round.
Crouch.
It's a thrilling and rather chaotic match that finished with Saints down to 11 men. Bristol the winners, of course. Harrison feeds Reinach. Hutchinson pulls it back. Bigger is there, missing out. Nairavoro, wide they go. Collins set up the try, of course, with that wonderful run. Onwards from Brousseau. Bigger for Ratuni Yarawa. Space is here for Saints to run into, and some soft shoulders seemingly on the part of the Tigers. Francis, little grubber through. Gibson's after it. The ball beats them all.
Yeah, he's lucky there. Aspen Robertson. That had popped up inside. Gibson was through.
Just the difference in the two teams, though. Northampton able to slow Leicester down, but just watch from this scrum. Look at the Leicester front 5 as they get up. They get back into position. They're trying to get back. Northampton go wide. But then as the ball comes back to the other side, Leicester are still trying to get into position as the ball's out. That means there's no line speed at all from Leicester. Northampton with a really good attacking momentum.
You're outside.
Youngs to Williams.
The maul is now. Don't kick it straight out.
Harrison. Nairavoro fielding. Well held by O'Connor, but quick ball emerging for Bigger, looking for the crossfield kick, and it's well taken by Oluwafele, who anticipated that nicely. Silky runner, over halfway he goes. The ball has been stripped again. Reinach feeds it out, and away goes Brousseau, straight up the middle. Reinach is there as ever, on the shoulder. And was that a deliberate? Yeah, it was deliberate knockdown.
Killed the ball. Off your feet,
yellow.
kill a good attack.
Yeah, it couldn't be a more obvious yellow.
Reinach, again, 3 times he was involved in that passage. He makes the turnover, offloads the ball, gets back in support, and then it's him who's stripped by Williams in an illegal position.
Go for goal.
And he's available for a little pass as well. Makes that pass. Look at his support line, directly behind the ball. Pass him there, you could pass again there. And then he still gets the ball away and gets the penalty. He has been everywhere in this first 30 minutes.
First man there. No, first man, definitely. I was there for...
That's a silly penalty. Unless you've got an invisible cloak on or you play for the All Blacks, there's no way in the world you're getting away with that.
That's not happening on Mark Williams anytime soon. He's in the bin for the next 9.5 minutes. And that is the best part, of course, of the first half remaining.
I don't think there was much thinking in that one, was there? It was
not a lot. And 3 points resulting from Dan Bigger. Saints extend their lead. 8 points to 3 after half an hour at Welford Road.
Watch stop, please.
Leicester just very slowly walking back to the halfway line. So Wayne Barnes sticks his hand in the air, stops the clock. Doesn't want Leicester rolling the 10 minutes off the yellow card clock.
Watch on, please. Thanks, fellas, when you're ready.
Response do the Tigers have with the remaining 9 or so minutes of this first half. Naravoro loses possession. Francis has done well to hand that to the man of the moment, Reinach. Oliver Fela for Ford. And then on the chase. Bigger. Wide immediately for Tuala. Hoping to work that 15-metre channel.
No tackle.
Did Dan Bigger just catch and pass the ball in one movement then?
Yeah, pretty much. Here he is again, sending it in behind for Francis. Brousseau in the line. Tackled by O'Connor. Van Veek. Naravoro. 3 men onto him. Hill. Bigger. Francis. Hutchinson. Just a little bit too far in front. No, gathered on the bounce by Tuala. Oliver Fela makes the tackle. The inside ball has reached Kitchener.
They're putting great width on the ball, Saints.
Use it!
Players unable to run straight onto decent passes. Makes it very difficult to defend in the wide channels.
Makes a huge difference, doesn't it? A real feature of last Sunday, actually, as well, as Genge sets off and runs into Hill. Yeah, the crispness of the Saints passing really noticeable last weekend, and on the evidence of this evening as well.
Okay, just get it right.
It is a priority for Chris Boyd.
He's okay, he just won the competition and ended up on his feet.
Harrison did well to get that away. Reinach wasn't too far away. Bigger is there, trying to shake off the attentions of Thompson. Hill. Hutchinson, straightening beautifully. Through the middle he goes, not for the first time this season, and delivers the pass, which will result in the try for Collins. Hutchinson, the creator. Saints have their second. Tigers again, stunned.
Well, Saints just look so lethal when they get those opportunities. They've had nowhere near as many as Leicester. But the footwork of Hutchinson and Collins has been absolutely superb. Ellis Genge just getting dragged over a little bit. Hasn't got the energy to get back in place.
They'll be quick tonight.
And Northampton playing the perfect sort of game plan away from home. Going hard at the breakdown. Frustrating Leicester with ball in hand. And then when they get their opportunities, they're taking them.
Defensively switching off, Leicester finding themselves too tight, offering big gaps on the inside. But I think it's more about the psyche of the play. The ability for Saints to go wide, and look for space, look for opportunity. Leicester looking at collision-based rugby. And when you've got players of Hutchinson's ability with the footwork and then the finishing speed of Collins, difficult to stop if you offer space. There's how tight they are. You've got 3 defenders in 2 metres and nobody covering the inside. Way too much ground for O'Connor to make up. And like I said, when you've got that sort of space, you're just going to run away. You contrast the 2 styles. Saints looking to move the ball, looking for fluidity. It's why they've scored 121 tries now this season. Leicester still on 56.
And gathering the ball in here, Ratuni Yarawa, who is shaking off those defenders with almost sumptuous ease. Bigger, needing a bounce, finding a bounce.
Ball still alive.
That's brilliant.
Outside the 22.
Just outside the 22.
Yeah, you got to know.
This tells the story though, Ben, doesn't it? When you want to know how a side's playing, if they're playing most of their rugby off 9, then they're tight. The forwards are working really hard, and the opposition forwards have just got to stop you. Nothing else, just stop you. Whereas on the other side, Leicester forwards now have got to cover most of the field, and if you're being held in a scrum and then they go wide, you've got to sprint back, and that takes a lot of work for Fat Williams.
There's a little bit as well of George Ford looking up, not being able to see an option outside and having to go himself a number of times.
Lineouts functioning pretty well for the Tigers, and Harrison is there.
Yeah, that's all right.
To make good the exit. Tuala, again they're looking for width, and Nairavoro, that was poor, and Francis has dropped it, and Tuolangi's onto it. Hutchinson is back, the fend on Tuolangi, slips underneath Asplund Robinson, Eastman drags him down. Reinach is looking for options, Nairavoro is one of them. Playing some thrilling rugby at the moment, Saints. Offering all sorts.
Massive numbers here.
Tuala for Gibson, stretching his legs in that 15-metre channel. There are way too many easy meters being made by Northampton. Hutchinson for Harrison, straight and hard and through the hole and over the 10-metre line, and still barrelling forwards. Fending off Ford twice. Reinach, Hutchinson, Collins, picked up by Brousseau. Francis now. Some tired bodies out there. Ratuniarawa sets the target point. Van Veek, Moon. Reinach, Bigger, Hill. Still pumping the legs, but the ball has been ripped. And regained or not? Yes, Hill has it. Reinach to the short side, sends it wide. Oluwafela makes the tackle on Gibson. Harrison.
Another really good carry from Harrison. Leicester look exceptionally tight defensively in the pack now. The variety of the Saints is tiring them out.
You've lost. Good work, thank you.
Reinach, Bigger. Hutchinson using the footwork, slipping into Reinach. And here goes the scrum half into his opposite man, Harrison. That was a thumping collision. Francis back against the grain and just slowed up for a minute here. Fish, I should say, beyond the 22. They'll go for Collins.
And off the ball.
Francis plays provider, Ratuniarawa. All bodies on deck at the moment for Leicester. Hutchinson again looking to create something. Off the ground for Bigger, throws the dummy. Thompson with the tackle.
Clearly on the head. No, it's fine. Thank you.
Tuala brought down low by Eastmans. But the alarm bell's ringing again for the Tigers. Brousseau straightening. Cole thought for a minute that he'd managed to effect the turnover. Here is Gibson. Wave after wave from Northampton at the moment. Hutchinson again looks for width for Nairavoro, shrugs off Asplund Robinson, brilliantly infield for Collins, who grounds it. Second of the night for Collins, and this time Nairavoro's offloading, providing the dividend.
What a try, just brilliant rugby all round and great patience, a mixture of power, offloading game, supporting lines, and then you get this at the end. Defensively, Leicester look okay. It's a brilliant pass to the outside, and then you've got the power and that left-hand offload. Manu Tuolangi almost rolls Collins onto his back, but can't quite get there. The fatigue in the Leicester defence is a byproduct of the sensational rugby that Saints have come out in this first half and performed.
Yeah, Austin talked about how do you stop that left-handed offload of Ravoro before the game. He said you've got to target the left hand, and as he comes across, just watch fullback Olawafela doesn't get that right hand of his up to target the ball, just tries to dump him into touch, and what an offload back around the fullback.
Well, it's being played at breakneck speed at the moment, this match, by Northampton, and the Tigers are struggling to keep pace.
Take place.
Just wide from Bigger.
Thanks, mate.
The
I know, it was instinctive. I totally get it.
Sinbin clock is now drawn to a close, so Leicester will be back to a full complement, but there's not an awful lot you can do with that kind of offloading.
George, okay, but obviously the ball's got to go into
Olawafela comes in with the wrong shoulder. If he hits with the right shoulder there, your right arm comes all the way around the body and makes the offload a little bit more difficult.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because Ravoro tonight has been, I think it's fair to say, a really mixed bag. But when he gets it right, front foot ball and that offloading power.
No, it's not, fellas.
But you think about the control that Bigger's put on it and going wide to the other side to create the space back on this side. Leicester short of a man with the yellow card. We saw the break down the middle of Harrison, so if Leicester try and go wide with their defence, there are gaps opening up down the middle for Northampton.
Mike Williams back with us for Leicester. Brandon O'Connor half through. They could really do with a score here of any kind. Just before the break, Young's bustling forwards.
Tackle!
Look how well Gibson stays in that tackle on his feet.
Inside forward to Williams. Eastman's. Wide they go for May. Startling pace from May. Just dragged down by Bigger. Olawafela has it for Leicester. 5 metres out. Tigers smelling blood. Williams once more. Clock deep into the red at the end of this first half. That's forwards, but interference from Northampton and a suggestion there that perhaps that's the kind of foul play that might have merited a card, Ben.
Number 7 was totally legal on the ball. 1 came late. Yeah.
So the initial slowing down, that's the explanation. I think had it been Van Vicky picked out as the penalty. Brusso's okay, he's saying, and it's him there. That slows it down, so that's why you don't get the benefit of Leicester with all the momentum attacking 5 metres out. But then that extra little nibble from Van Vick is the penalty, and that's probably why it's not a yellow card.
Fellas, he's just got an injury over there, just in case it goes that way. What's up? Yeah,
just look at the metres made. 502 metres.
Yeah, that is
in one half. They could break 1,000 metres. I don't know if that's ever been done.
Extraordinary, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh,
the same number of carries,
Ben said it
much.
has. When was that then, Ben?
It's done a lot.
Was it? When?
It's done in one of the internationals.
A lot.
Okay. He's going to come this side, okay.
But just thinking back to that penalty, I think that's as bad, if not worse, as a yellow card.
Has been good. Let's keep it like
because
that. Take your time.
It's premeditated. You know that you're trying to slow the ball down in the red zone after you've been warned. So I think it's a yellow.
Yep, good case for it.
Crouch.
And there'll be Northampton fans on Twitter that potentially disagree.
Quite obviously. Scrum time. That's the choice.
Pressure off, fellas, down far side.
They were never stationary and they chased this field. Never stationary.
Really nice this side. Really
A
nice
real
this side,
opportunity here for Leicester to salvage something from this first 40 minutes. A stellar Castles in that front row. Gen, Jungs and Cole. Plenty of power in behind.
Just get that stability up and down as well.
Has always been, even in
flat,
some of the darker days of Tigers' recent history. It's always been a force to be reckoned with.
Just interesting to see Ravoro inside. See Tuala defending the channel that Manu Tuolangi might be looking to operate in. Big hitter, not necessarily their most accurate defender, but tasked with stopping any momentum that Tuolangi can give in conjunction with Francis.
Another penalty.
To his knee and elbow to the ground.
The voice you can hear is that of Paul Dix, who's patrolling this near side of touch.
The ball's been thrown back to Sam Harrison from George Ford. He doesn't want the points, he wants another scrum.
They must a bit more height, Barnsley, as well.
Okay, we're going to come higher, okay? That was a problem last time. Come higher.
Guess maybe put a bit of pressure on Wayne Barnes to make a decision. They also fancy whatever move they've got called. If they come away with nothing, that's a big call going into half-time.
Almost 5 minutes beyond the 40. And this time it's Saints who win the penalty.
That's a penalty because you miss your bind.
Ellis Genge
It's not. If you want to take
unimpressed
scrums, you've got to be legal
and
as well.
fully recognising the significance of that last decision by Wayne Barnes, which takes us to the break. Northampton hold out. More than that, they've scored 3 tries and a couple of crackers in there. Ryanak to open things up. Collins with a brace at half-time at Welford Road. Leicester 3, Northampton 20.
It has been a bubbling, brutal, effervescent East Midlands derby. Northampton Saints have the edge at the moment. 3 tries to 0. They lead 20 points to 3. Now, really exciting news on BT Sport. We'll be broadcasting all live coverage of the 2019 Indian Premier League. The star-studded competition gets underway tomorrow as defending champions Chennai Super Kings, captained by MS Dhoni, host Moeen Ali's Royal Challengers Bangalore. That is live at 2:15 on ESPN. Well, Northampton Saints have certainly had the edge in this game, and the stat that leaps out of you is metres made. 502 carries are fairly similar. As you'd expect, the Saints have the edge on the gain line successes, and they are forcing the Leicester Tigers to defend, and they are missing a few tackles, but that metres made of 502 is really quite astonishing. Well, Paul Grayson, if you are a Saints player and Saints coaching team, but certainly a fan, you have got a big smile on your face right now.
Well, absolutely, Basin. It's been a blistering first half. Both teams prepared to play, but Northampton's willingness to put a little bit of air between the ball and the next man is just, even off the back of a mistake, they're not letting up, and particularly when Leicester went down to 14 men, Northampton tested their defence brilliantly.
Of course, there are so many young players coming through. They're following on that success from the Premiership Rugby Cup, but stitching them together as some wise old heads. And Cobus Ryanak has been sensational right from the start of the season. And today, yet again, he's at the centre of everything. Amazing. Possibly a knock-on?
Yeah, I think initially it went backwards, then off his shoulder and onto his hand, so potentially something for Leicester to grumble about. But Northampton's response to that mistake, Tuala with the outside break, beautiful ball to Tom Collins, is a fantastically balanced runner, great pace, and then once Cobus is in open water, you are not catching him. He is breathtakingly quick.
It's easy to forget, I guess, how young Tom Collins is. He's been in and around the Saints squad for some time. That's a beautifully weighted and timed pass.
Yeah, and one of the features of Northampton's play is the willingness to support. They know that from turnover ball or their response to event is absolutely fantastic. Everybody knows that in loose play they're going to go forward, so you don't have to think twice about should I go to support, is he going to kick the ball. They know what's coming, they're all on the same page, and from the coaching that they're getting from Chris Boyd, particularly Sam Vesti in attack, they work on that all the time.
Now, Tigers have had their moments today, but they haven't capitalised.
No, and that when you get within 5 metres of the opposition line, particularly like a ball over the top here, you think it's just a straight run-in. Good hit from Ryanak, another Saints player, Tom Collins, we think, coming in there to finish it off. Here, Ryanak again drags Dan Cole back from over the line. Tuala has to gamble here. It's either a walk-in, an intercept, or a yellow card. He manages to get hold of the ball, and they survive once again. And then the last, Leicester choosing the scrum at the end of the first half, giving a penalty and letting Northampton off to the hook could be the difference.
And Tom Collins, you order a Tom Collins, why not? Let's have 2. let's have 2 Tom Collins. 2 tries scored while Mike Williams was in the sin bin.
Yeah, Rory Hutchinson is just on fire at the moment. Puts the footwork on. Tom Collins in support. Look at the number of red and white shirts there. 4 players could have scored that try. Hutch is a very, very balanced runner, and he's got a man inside, man outside. Not an easy skill. Fixes with a look and a dummy inside, and then gives Tom Collins a stroll in, and then again Hutchinson on the ball here. Long early pass, and this is what Nairavoro can do. 2 men have to come to stop him. He gets that great big left mitt free. Feeds it inside. Good support line from Tom Collins, and they punished Leicester for going down to 14 men.
And of course, what people probably wouldn't have seen for that first Tom Collins try was how many Saints players there were up in support, should the first pass not have been the option.
Yeah, they're hungry for work, hungry to get the ball in hand, and hungry to play.
Now, if anyone was thinking, hang on, I can hear a wedding march going on in the background, you would not be wrong. There is a wedding taking place right here on Welford Road. Congratulations to the happy couple. Let us focus, though, on the rugby, the second half, coming up after this break. Focus now back on the game. Leicester need to get themselves back into it. They trail 20 points to 3. Back to our commentary team of Austin, Ben and Ali.
Well, nothing says I love you quite as much as a wedding here at Welford Road. The fastest ever wedding ceremony, it would appear. Done and dusted inside 10 minutes. And rugby to concentrate on, of course. A couple of changes have been made, one from each team. We have Alex Waller on the field at loose head for Francois van Veek. Led the Saints in their successful Premiership Cup final against Saracens, and Matt Tamua has replaced Kyle Eastman in the Tigers back division. 17-point deficit, which is as many as the Tigers have ever had to come back from. London Irish 1999, they were back from 17 points at the break. They've got to do that all over again, and they've been outplayed comfortably here this evening. Northampton playing some very exciting rugby, despite being under pressure for large periods of it, certainly in terms of territory and possession. But they have been razor sharp when given their opportunities. Harrison using Youngs. Jamie Gibson is doing a very good job of ripping the ball out of Tigers players' hands tonight, but on that occasion it's a penalty to Leicester.
Let off for Leicester. Not only do they get to clear, they get to throw into the line out. Decision was it was ripped by Gibson, which it was there.
Nigel's ball, okay.
Fish wouldn't have seen that. And he played the ball having started in front of his teammate.
Jamie Gibson, former Tiger, of course. 4 seasons with the Saints now, not too many across that divide. Youngs finds O'Connor, not necessarily overly straight. Mike Williams has it for Leicester. Harrison is burrowing and breaking.
It's fine, he's bound, and then
here's Johnny May.
Tackle!
Spencer.
Tackle now! Let him go!
Defensive work from Gibson and Ratuni Arawa.
Fine, fellas.
Harrison again on the back foot. That's been spilt by Manitou Alangi. It's gone forwards. And the crowd don't like it.
Again, just the theme of the first half. Northampton competing at every breakdown, slowing Leicester down.
Say again? Yeah,
Doesn't excuse the Tuolangi taking his eye off the ball before it came to him, but
Doesn't look good for Leicester either. Tamua has just come on and gone down with what looks like potentially a calf strain. Does not look good. Oh, it's his ankle.
He looks in a lot of pain, isn't he? Matt Tamua, who is leaving Leicester at the end of the season, heading off to join the Melbourne Rebels. Try and win a Rugby World Cup place for the Wallabies. Looks sore. So don't forget, a double header coming your way tomorrow on BT Sport, on BT Sport 1 and 4K UHD. We start at the London Stadium, Sarries against Quins from 2:30. Then we're at St James's Park, Newcastle against Sale, 5:15 on BT Sport 1 and 4K UHD, and to Sandy Park on Sunday for the Gallagher Premiership leaders, to the Chiefs against Bath. And then we look to Europe. Saints in action against Claremont in their Challenge Cup quarter-final, 5:30 on Sunday. BT Sport, the only place to catch all the Heineken Champions Cup and Challenge Cup matches. Friday night, AJ Bell, Sale against Connacht is where we start.
Saints very tight in and around Biggar, just trying to create some space a bit wider. They did this in the Premiership final, hit up through Francis. Try and keep that defence tight and preserve some space in the outside channel.
Really good punch offered by Gibson as well, and still they search out the width. Hutchinson, who is working his way forwards.
He's like an eel, isn't he? You think you've got him and then he's out, he's gone.
Slippery. Eels tend to be slippery, in my experience.
Off it too long.
Very difficult to grab their legs as well, as opposed to the non-slippery ones.
Lying down.
Hutchinson, that's miles forwards. And we're coming back for a previous offence. Tigers not rolling. There he is. He's growing in confidence, seemingly, Rory Hutchinson, with every single match. And let's not forget, he's kind of slipped into the boots left vacant by the very sad departure of Rob Horne. And it was in this fixture last season that Rob Horne suffered that horrific, life-changing injury.
Right, there you are, mate. You carry on.
Much missed. Rory Hutchinson and indeed Piers Francis in that 12-13 channel doing a fine job for Saints, although it doesn't look overly promising for Francis at this point. Hobbling his way back to the 10-metre line as Biggar lines up the sticks. The routine is a little different to the elaborate performance that used to go on from Dan Biggar pre-kick, but the effects broadly are the same. Northampton now with a 20-point cushion.
Yeah, big kick. Just for the psychological damage it'll do to your opposition. Having got that lead, they would have wanted to come out and score first.
Genge. Saying goodbye to Jamie Gibson. Spencer with the dummy run. Instead, Tamua sending in its way via the bounce to O'Connor.
Backwards for me.
Youngs. Forward. Tamua. Asplin Robinson. Brought down by Hutchinson. Picked up and driven through the middle by Cole. Hutchinson had his hands on that for a moment. Harrison finds Spencer. Ford. Youngs. Flattened by Fish. Ford again, little dink over the top, looking to find Tamua. Tried to get the ball away to O'Connor, and there was a Saints man in the way.
Yeah, it's fine to play on.
Just thinking a little bit too quickly for Brendan O'Connor.
One green, quite right.
O'Connor probably thinking, I need to be there to clear him out, to help him out. It's actually, the delivery's not good enough. I think O'Connor would have caught it had it been thrown into his hands, but it was down by his ankles.
No, that's what he just said. He said the clear out's fine.
O'Connor, who's been out for a little while with hamstring trouble.
Not the sort of pass you want if you've been out with a hamstring problem.
Yeah, right by the laces. So Tigers fans needing something to celebrate.
I think the thing that probably will worry Jordan Murphy and his coaching staff the most is they've come out totally different from the first half. The first half they came out, and although they conceded that early try, they were winning the collisions, they had direction. They were a bit stagnant in their attack.
Hutchinson feeding to Arla. Tuolagi makes the tackle. The ball is out, and it was Johnny May who was onto it the fastest for Leicester.
Not now, fellas!
A little bit of extra work at the breakdown for Harrison. Forward finding Tamua. Youngs. Oh, via the boot. Tidy enough.
I think he was aiming to keep that in field, maybe.
Ball still live.
Get the kick chase on the turning defenders. Ball was already out before that counter ruck came in. Johnny May just went round and lifted it.
Johnny May was allowed to come around.
Tom Young showing off an array of talents. Only Martin Johnson and Jordan Murphy himself have captained Leicester more in the Premiership.
Playing the lifter early. No, he was too. He entered it to his throw. Playing the lifter.
Just can't build any momentum at the moment.
Fine, just back on that cover. The ball came out. That's why 14 was right to go around the side. Just over there. Yeah.
Infringements like that, decisions like that, not helping the Leicester cause at all. Bigger, taking them beyond halfway.
Yeah, line's yours. Who was it? Just let him land, fellas. Don't play the man in the air or the supporter. Wasn't it?
Fish. Still no Dylan Hartley, of course, no Mikey Hayward either at the moment for Northampton. Picked up here by Moon.
Backwards, that's back to it.
Reinach having to deal with Harrison, slipped it away to Fish.
Tackle now, away we come.
Waller, Bigger, Gibson. It looks like Bigger might have been hurt in the collision. Struggling back into position. Francis and the knock on, and
number 5. No,
Wayne Barnes not happy with. Who's he not happy with? Graham Kitchener.
Just running at Wayne Barnes, always a good tactic. And Kitchener backing off round onto his side, but he takes out the scrum half coming in to pick up the ball.
Kitchener rejoining Worcester next season. In his 8th season here at Welford Road. And business to attend to. With half an hour remaining, Northampton working their way via the Bigger boot deep inside the Tigers' 22. First East Midlands derby for Dan Migger at Welford Road.
He's been in complete control, hasn't he? Takes the 3 points just to calm everything down at the start of the second half, and now they go for the try bonus point.
Tiamana Harrison secures the ball. It's with Brousseau. Two South Africans working in tandem. Reinach gathers it in. Naira Voro is launched from close range. Brousseau again. Tackled by Williams. Ratuni Arawa. They're making ground here, Saints, slowly but surely. Brousseau for the 3rd time in almost as many phases. Hutchinson racing in to play scrum half.
Tackle now, away you come, all players. No.
Still they keep it tight.
That's it.
And the advantage here. Finally the penalty and another card coming. And Wayne Barnes
No quick ones, no quick ones.
lost his
Deliberately
patience.
killed the ball as the ball was emerging. Hit the ball.
And Dan Cole is into the bin. Second yellow of the match for Leicester.
We've ran the tee on.
And this considered cynical enough for the yellow.
Yeah, pointedly, the tee came on from the coaching staff. They sent it on. They said, let's take those points, ratchet up the score. We've got plenty of time to go for that bonus point try. Dan Cole just slapping the ball out of the hands of the man picking it up at the base.
Well, I guess the pragmatism is in everybody's minds after the chaotic events of Twickenham. England, Scotland, 31-point lead wasn't enough. Bigger taking 3, 26 points to 3 now. Northampton lead, and Cole in a sulk.
Yeah, the frustration's starting to creep in, isn't it, all over the field. Leicester are going to be careful not to give away silly penalties or more. There's a big tackle off the ball by Ellis Genge. Times it just about right to get away with
That's
it, though.
3 penalties now.
There's another penalty
Be
again.
careful. Be careful. He's
Just
running to the ball. Don't push
No
it.
awareness of where you are or where the ball is
penalties in a row
leads to a
against
penalty,
Kitchener.
leads to Bigger just being in complete
that
control
ball
of the
accurate.
game.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I've just dealt with it straight
Couple
away. Okay.
in fairly quick succession from
Don't
Graham
need to.
Kitchener, and again Bigger's making the Tigers pay with territory.
Mate. He's running towards the ball, which he's allowed to do. Kitchen. Not all I see.
Gibson, lovely delivery for Reinach, has to delay because Youngs is in the pathway. Harrison driving into Tamua. Another penalty.
What stopped?
Now then, conversation needs to be had.
Put your hands down. Okay. You can listen if you want. Okay. I understand your frustration, okay, but there's just lots of silly penalties. You've had playing a man in the air, you've had entry, you've had pushing, tackle's complete, and then he's clearly ripped the ball. It's not even close, okay? Just, come on, get on top of it, please, Henry.
So the law is, as soon as the knee goes down, the tackle's complete, so you're not allowed to rip the ball. You have to have a clear release before you rip it. There's the ball on the ground. It's fractions of a second, but it is clear.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's marginal, but it potentially is extremely costly because Bigger is going to have another crack at the posts. Just taking everything on offer.
Yeah, the first half, Leicester didn't take these chances. They had maybe 9 kickable points. Come out in the second half, done Bigger. If he slots this, just moves it beyond touching distance, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's 3 in this second half already for Dan Bigger. 9 priceless points. They're stretching well clear and making sure they're good value for their lead as well. Still with the Tigers operating at 14 men. Ford goes long and high, and Mairavoro is upended. Harrison fighting his way through the contact.
Not now. Good work, thank you.
Bigger.
And use it.
All operating on Saints time at the moment. Reinach, not quite contestable. Well gathered by Olofela. Genge, little pop, and Williams very nearly through. Gibson makes the tackle. Harrison with quick ball to work with, not something he's had the luxury of today all that much. Ford wriggles up to the 10-metre line, not too many bodies to the left. Asplund Robinson. Ford again. Tuolangi for Tamua, quick handling for O'Connor. A brilliant offload for Thompson, and Tamua has it. He's still going. Best bit of play we've seen from the Tigers so far. The intercept's affected by Bigger, and Reinach is away again. Threads it up the touchline, and the ball is into touch. Oh, how was the challenge?
The story of the game, really. Any time Leicester have had any momentum, Northampton's defence has snubbed it out. Reinach's been at the heart of it. This time it's his half-back partner who makes the intercept.
Look, I just didn't see it. You
Leicester,
might be right.
Saints have been so clinical. Leicester create the opportunity again. Lovely pass here from Brendan O'Connor out the back door behind Reinach. Ball back inside. Tamua can't get it to Tuolangi. Tries to go underneath Tuala. And then, as the ball comes out here,
I'll show you for that.
not sure Bigger's entirely onside. Behind the back feet, but it doesn't matter. He makes the play. And Reinach, very, very nearly punishes Leicester the length of the
get everyone
field.
sorted. 1 second.
I thought for a minute he was sizing up another 80-metre run.
All right, line out then. Leicester ball.
Such a central figure.
Yeah, it looks like it's for them.
And the pressure is off again for the time being for Northampton. Their biggest points tally at Welford Road,
Watch on.
32.
He's landed on the...
And that didn't look too pretty from the line out. Williams taken out, and the penalty going Leicester's way, greeted with a big cheer. Austin.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to show you a phase of play actually in a sec that sort of tells you the story about Leicester this season. Low on the try scored, only 56. And it's really indicative. Sized when you're playing like that, they don't expect a break, and it's a lovely pass from Genge. Williams goes through the gap, but then watch the reaction from the players.
Yeah, you got them.
No one reacts. All the forwards are still on the short side. You've got loads of numbers there. These guys should be really busting a gut to get around the corner, so at least George Ford's got some options. But as the ball comes out to Ford, he's got no one to pass to. No options, nowhere to go. And eventually he gets stifled out.
Over the top, and Reinach is onto it. And they're putting it through the hands again, and Hutchinson is releasing Collins. 2 tries already today. Tuala, Reinach, dumped. Harrison with the tackle. He meant that.
Just hold.
Bigger. Inside ball looking for Waller. Waller's got Moon alongside him. Moon, the offload for Bigger. Was it forwards? Bigger thinks it wasn't. Wayne Barnes will check.
Yeah, I think it is. They're going to have a look. Brilliant interplay. Exactly what Austin was saying, what Leicester aren't doing, flooding the channel.
Yeah, we're just looking at that one. Okay.
What's the verdict? Graham Hughes is our TMO today.
I don't think this angle is going to give us much, but the ball does look, even on that one, like it was forward. Yeah. This angle is probably the best one. It's a really nice offload from Waller, and then actually he just overruns it Bigger. It is a forward pass.
Starts behind the line and goes over the line, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it's not going to count.
Yeah, The 22 was a giveaway, mate.
So they'll have to wait for their bonus point, if indeed they are to secure their bonus point.
Yeah, of course.
It was a glorious flowing move, though. The willingness to offload, for the most part, the timings of the offload and the passing have been very crisp tonight.
Austin mentioned about the Leicester forwards looking a bit tired early on in the game, towards the end of the first half, and it's just not that bite about the defensive line, is that 100% committed. Maybe when you're a little bit worried about your defensive system and the fact that you've leaked a few tries, there's a little bit of hesitation. You can't hesitate in defence. You have to commit to what you're doing and go forward and bang people. But Northampton, they are causing so many problems, and they're playing conversely with so much confidence. Almost free-flowing.
Well, we were saying before the game, weren't we, about this game and how important it was in the context of the rest of the season, whether a side was going to be challenging for the top 6 or whether actually fighting for relegation. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing the quality of Northampton, and this sort of performance, it reeks of a side that's going to qualify for Europe at the very least. You watch Leicester's performance, and it reeks of a side that could be playing rugby elsewhere next year.
A number of changes have been made, and it is Leicester who are the beneficiaries of the whistle.
Outside, yeah.
In the meantime, George Furbank is on for Northampton. He's on for Naira Voro, and Joe Hayes came on for the scrum, of course, with Cole in the bin. Asplen Robinson was the man sacrificed. High ball gathered in by Bigger. It's clever from Ford. He's given that an almighty thump. Collins is back there. Tuala. And touch is found. Let's bring in Matt Ferguson, part of the coaching setup with the Saints. Matt, you'll be thrilled with the scoreline and presumably with the performance tonight. You really seem to get on top in that first half, and this second half, you're squeezing the life out of Leicester.
Yeah, there's a couple of things that make our game work, and that's the ability to launch from our first phase and our work at the breakdown. And so far we've been able to get those two things in the game, but we're going to have to maintain it for this final 20 minutes as well.
We've been spending a lot of time talking about Cobus Reinach. I mean, for most of the season, he's been exceptional. Tonight, he's just controlling everything, seemingly.
Yeah, he's an experienced head with a very fast pair of legs, so not a bad 9 to have out there.
Thanks for your time.
Cheers.
Thompson goes to ground. Harrison whips it away. Joe Hayes.
Clear out is legal.
Moore. Flat ball, which has been lost in contact, and Collins is away again, and then he's completely missed the ball. It's gone forwards from O'Connor. It might have been via the O'Connor boot, so onwards we go, and Brousseau is rolling forwards. Harrison.
And away.
Dealt with on that occasion by Will Spencer. And Bigger. Looking for touch and finding a good touch. Just again, a very sensible, practical option. Brilliantly executed.
Yeah, just a really nice kick, wasn't it? He realised that Leicester had got defenders in front of him. Put a wonderful outside of the boot kick, curled it into touch.
7 White leaving the field this side, Barnsley.
Perhaps Chris Boyd would speak in glowing terms about it, but interesting to hear him say that he can think of very few people who control a game and manage a game quite in the manner that Dan Bigger is able to. Brendan O'Connor off, Mike Fitzgerald on.
5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stay 2, guys, thank you.
Still a few more seconds for Dan Cole to get through before he's allowed back on. Youngs finds Kitchener.
Yeah, nice come up. Okay, stay with both arms on. Okay, out you go now, Alex. Thank you.
Sam Harrison starting tonight with Ben Youngs given the evening off after Six Nations exertions. 10 years at the Tigers. And now getting a breather with Ben White replacing him.
Ben White will give a little bit more around the base and a threat for Leicester there. Sam Harrison actually probably been Leicester's standout player because of his tenacity, and he's had to fill some holes in the Leicester defence. Made a huge number of tackles. Leicester just haven't been able to get him into the game.
Fish to Gibson, Fish again for Tuala. Reinach still keeping the pace of the game high from Northampton. This is Ben Franks, newly with us, replacing Paul Hill on the tight head. Furbank. Rousseau.
Off you go.
Tiniarawa off the ground. Bigger. Oh, we've got a bad injury.
Thanks, fellas.
It's Heinrich Brousseau. He's had a lot of difficulty this season. Was out for a long spell before Christmas with concussion. He's been a very busy, bustling presence tonight. So Joe Hayes making way for Dan Cole, whose time in the bin is up.
Yeah, thanks, of course. Thanks.
And around about 18 minutes for the Tigers to salvage something from here, Ben. And this, as we were talking about pre-match, could be
they'll look at it if it's necessary.
Quite a significant night. Worcester and Newcastle looking to apply a little bit of pressure, suck the Tigers down into the relegation scrap.
Will be, yeah. Just make sure he's all right.
Worcester away at Bristol tomorrow. Newcastle up against Sale at St James's Park, live on BT Sport tomorrow afternoon.
HIA, fellas, yeah. Thanks.
And he's off for an HIA, so something of a recurring theme for the South African flanker.
HIA, yeah.
In his place, Tom Wood.
Yeah, that, yeah. Mike.
Plenty of good memories and some rather feistier ones from East Midlands derbies in the past. Tom Wood.
Okay, come on, let's get these working.
Red card here in December of 2011 after a little scrap with Alassana Tuolangi.
Take your time.
Memorable match-winning try in the semi-final 2014.
Bind. Set.
Reinach releasing Hutchinson into acres of space, seemingly. This is Francis. Wide they go for Tuala. Tackle made by Oluwafela, and touch is found.
It was good defence in the end by Leicester, but conceded a lot of metres really easily coming down the wrong side of the scrum. Tuolangi does really well to set off and get to the second ball carrier.
For a lack of talk there, Austin, from Oluwafela, because he was there, the numbers were equated, they just didn't go forward at the last minute. I wonder if there was a little bit of nervousness on that right wing that he's not going to make there, so they just hang off for a second.
To be fair, they've got a lot of inexperience in the back three, Leicester, haven't they?
And this ball has been claimed by Franks of Northampton, ripped by Guy Thompson. Very, very significant turnover here from the Tigers' number 8.
No, it's not. Use it!
White. Tuala. Good tackle from Aslan Robinson. Franks again, who's getting through quite a lot of work in the first few minutes of his arrival. Wood. Penalty Leicester. Tom Wood not releasing. There's been very few Leicester wins at the breakdown. We've had two in quick succession, with Thompson making that turnover and then Cole there, but too little, too late. Northampton have bossed that area of the field, and to me that's the biggest reason why they're 29 points to 3 up.
Yeah, they bossed a lot of areas of the field, particularly Reinach. Actually, his ability at the breakdown to get away quickly is what caused all that space. You see he gets away from the base. That means that White has to stay close to him because he's still a threat. And then he throws a really long flat pass. If Manu steps in at that stage, they score in the corner. It's really good defence from Manu. But it all stemmed from that guy there. He's so quick off the base.
White. Tigers pouring forwards. First time really that we've seen Tuolangi on a short line, hard and fast. Williams handled by Bigger. White for Kitchener. Much more urgency here to Leicester, as there needs to be with only 15 minutes remaining. Tamua. Oluwafela. Genge. Ford. Just delaying the pass, enabling them to make the 22-metre line. Slightly weary-looking trundle from Genge, that one. Ford now for Fitzgerald.
Advantage.
And a penalty advantage. Tuolangi for Oluwafela. Youngs still with the penalty advantage. Ford inside ball, lovely little pop. Aspen Robinson coming charging through. Oluwafela straightening. Bigger brings him down at the second attempt. White searching for spaces, still searching. Tuolangi. Williams. Genge. Great power from Genge. He's made it to within 5 metres. Much more encouraging this from the Tigers, and George Ford is waltzing through, picking holes where seemingly there were none. Wonderful footwork from Ford. The Saints barely laid a finger on him.
Well, both half-backs in those phases ran across field looking for options, in the end had to do it themselves. Certainly not a manufactured try, is it? But maybe Saints just a little bit guilty of tailing off some of that aggressive defence, and George Ford using that footwork of his and acceleration to get over the line. Gives something finally for the Welford Road fans to cheer about.
Well, he rescued England against Scotland at Twickenham. This is looking like just as big a task, if not a greater one. Ford with 7 points. Northampton's lead now 29 points to 10 with 12.5 minutes remaining.
Yeah, there's few players better at reading the situation in front of them. His ability to move and adapt to that space. Really impressive finish from him.
Yeah, as soon as you start.
Kitchener off. Harry Wells on in his place.
Time on. Yeah, it will when you kick it.
We've got a change at scrum half for the Saints. Alex Mitchell is on for Reinach. Also Andrew Kellaway on the field. White. Ford. Looking to bring in Asplund Robinson.
That's a standout. That was a very popular option when Matt O'Connor was here, that crossfield kick from a kickoff, but Asplund Robinson just not aware to it, not thinking that it might be coming, just showing that inexperience, lack of game time with George Ford, who's obviously been away. As a result, Northampton had to throw into the line out when really Asplund Robinson should have been running onto that.
Yeah, when you're on that far side of the right wing, you can always stand flat. It's the best position to stand in.
Tuolangi replaced by Gareth Owen. A messy possession for Saints and a Tigers boot on it. Kellaway is there for Northampton. Hutchinson.
Still in. Still in. And use it. It's outside. He knows it's not. If he wants to jump in there, he can. I'll give a penalty.
Asplund Robinson, good follow-up from Kellaway. Learning that Hanik Rousseau has failed his HIA, so we won't be seeing him again this evening. Tom Wood is on for keeps. This is Fitzgerald for Leicester. Ford again, mauls it to the Tigers play. Asplund Robinson cuts infield. Cole. White thought about flinging it left, runs to his right and brings in Oliver Failer. Gibson drags him to ground. Thompson does well. Asplund Robinson skips inside Mitchell.
Now you're off. No, don't go in there.
Into double figures on the face front here, Leicester. Ford, again the double pump, but the ball is there with Bigger. Wasn't falling for it. Mitchell, Francis. Hit by a thumping tackle. That one from Mike Fitzgerald. Gibson, Thompson. Well, he thought he had it. Wayne Barnes told him to back off.
You okay? Let it come back, let it come back. He's okay, he's digging it back. Be quiet.
A bit going on out there. Wayne Barnes getting plenty of assistance from the players on the field. Up it goes from Mitchell. Asplund Robinson thumped. Chris Marshall with the tackle. Fitzgerald.
No, don't touch him.
Ford. Shape to pass, got the kick away. Gibson drops on it. Got men down. Hutchinson. Dropped by Wood. He's been clobbered as he dropped.
Enough.
There's a lot of tired bodies out there after that phase of play. Northampton now, they just look a threat, don't they? Every time they get the ball, it comes out into the 13 channel. Hutchinson, difficult to put down, normally breaks the first tackle, and then your defensive line is chasing position. You lose line speed from the next ruck.
I guess the challenge will be if they can hold on from here, which you've got to assume they are likely to, as we see the end of Ellis Genge replaced by Facundo Gigenya. For the Saints, they've just been inconsistent over the last few rounds, haven't they? Losing to Bristol with the final play, lost to Saracens before that, perhaps no disgrace in that. Prior to that, big win over Sale, put 67 points on the Sharks, and they beat Exeter at home. So if you just feel they could put a meaningful run together, they could not only be threatening top 6,
They've
but
got a very tough run in though.
they do. They do.
Like you said, if they play like they did in the first half, they'll beat most sides.
Well, they have Gloucester and Gloucester at home, Exeter away. You Quins away as well. Yeah, it's not. They do have Worcester and Newcastle in there as.
That'd be a game you'd pay to watch, wouldn't it? Quins versus Saints at the minute, attacking rugby.
Absolutely right. Some attacking rugby being conjured here by the Tigers, and Oliver Fela racing up towards that 22. They have looked much more purposeful in the last 10 minutes or so, Leicester. Fitzgerald driven back. White to the short side. Owen, Williams. Running onto the ball with a lot more energy and zip now, Leicester. Forward again for Spencer.
Just got that momentum, which means Ford's able to pull the strings a little bit.
It's your own man's leg. I know, but come on. It's your own man's leg. It's your own man's leg.
Just the frustration from White. He knows it's an error. He's trying to find reasons why it wasn't his team's fault.
If you look at the ruck, look at how many bodies are all over the place. It's very difficult for the Leicester Nines this evening because Northampton have been so good at the ruck. They've not made any of them empty. They've not made any of them clear.
He's coming, Matt.
Just shows how efficient the Saints have been this evening as well.
Tony Arawa replaced by James Craig for Northampton.
That's on your side, Dixie.
Both hinged at the hips as they all went down across the road.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you instigated it your side or I instigated it my
Mike
side.
Williams
It was in unison.
is making way.
So when you make a mistake, you start shouting at me.
Sorry, as that guy's tackling, he's getting away past the
I didn't think he was there.
No, I know, but anyway, it's all right. Next one.
So don't forget, double-header tomorrow.
Really nice contact.
Live on BT Sport. We're off to the London Stadium first up.
We had about 6 seconds.
2:30, Saracens against Quins.
Nice competition your side.
BT Sport 1 and 4K UHD, followed by the game from St James's Park. Newcastle Falcons taking their game to the home of Newcastle United up against the Sharks, 5:15. And then on Sunday we're at Sandy Park for the Premiership leaders Exeter against Bath from 2:30. BT Sport 1 and 4K UHD.
Green, green, green.
7 minutes left. Scrum penalty to Saints.
Far side, green to floor.
Time fast running out for the Tigers here.
Green loose head.
An area of strength in a poor season for the Tigers has been the scrum. They made the changes. Zenia comes on, maybe wanting to make a bit of an impact.
They've been very efficient and ruthless here this evening, Saints. They'll still be after that bonus point, that 4th try. When you look at the way they've been playing, it's a very good question as to who exactly had the 5-day turnaround. They've looked really sharp and for the most part very fresh.
Don't step right, don't step away, break away.
Mitchell. Oliver Fella's gone right through and beyond it. Ben White has it for Leicester. Ford trapped inside his 22. Dummy thrown by Mitchell.
Lifted a long time.
Kellaway, the Australian.
Back off green.
And they come away with it, Leicester, through Owen. Bouncing off the tackle of Francis, who goes back in for more. Ford to Moore. from deep. Thompson. Into the final 5 minutes.
No!
Owen. One more tackle for Dan Bigger. Pulled back for Ford. Tamura again arriving late and deep. Aston Robinson. Cole. Well back behind the gain line. Ford. Change of plan. Heads to the open side and Owen. Youngs. May. Zagenya. White.
Play on, kids.
Stray boot. Ford, Tamua. Still hoping for openings on that right flank. Thompson.
Just lacking someone running hard, aren't they? Particularly Ford and Tamura, they need options off them. At the moment they're taking it stationary.
Here's Ford, another dummy, and Ford has gone through again. Scuffling inside the 22. Asplund Robinson picks up. Plenty of Northampton shirts there as cover. Working hard in defence. Ford again for Fitzgerald. Oliver Fela. Dragged down by Collins. Youngs arrives. White. Good work this from Leicester. Most phases of the match so far for them. The ball a little loose. Tackling the man without the ball is the penalty offence.
There, Barnesy, there.
Some time ago.
Tackle the support runner.
Yeah, just a good line back on the inside from Johnny May. That's what I'm saying. Give George Ford options, and then he can attack the line himself. If there's no one running there, he's got to stand shifted on or wait for a Northampton defender to show their hand that he can exploit. But if everyone's static off him, he has to stay static and just shovel the ball on.
So that's the end of Dan Cole's night. Already had 10 minutes in the bin.
I get the reason why you did it.
He's off for good now with Joe Hayes in his place on the tight head.
Let them land then, fellas, okay? Let them land.
Tom Young's also making way as we see Jake Kerr in. Oh no, he's not. He's off to throw the ball into the line out, and Fitzgerald is there to gather it in. Tigers needing something desperately with the clock ticking away. Thompson is being dragged towards the line.
Jamie Gibson.
It's a yellow for Gibson.
There's players around the ball. There's players around the ball. No. No.
But he's obviously...
Right. Jamie.
Sorry, he's not giving it.
There's other players around the ball. Jamie Gibson then came in at the side and killed it. Can't be sure try would have been scored.
So George Ford just asking the question as to whether there was a case for a penalty try.
Yeah. Leicester just got that momentum late, didn't they? Thompson almost had his head pulled off by his own teammate, Harry Wells, trying to drag him over the line with him.
And they go again. And they're making good headway here, Leicester.
Out we come. Out we come.
What's the verdict on the Barnes inspection?
I think he's just deciding on his question.
Tom Youngs is feeling confident.
Ball on the line. I just want to make sure that he didn't drop it just beforehand. Okay, any reason I can't award that try?
So
I've eventually seen the ball
when he blew the whistle like that, he was always going to go to the TMO.
The ball is eventually on the line. I just want to make sure he hasn't lost it beforehand.
Okay. But he goes digging to get in his own mind what the question is. and he saw the ball over the line. He just wants to check now whether it's been dropped.
That's a try.
Looks good. Placement, yeah.
Yeah, Barnsley's got that under control, that's fine. Yeah.
First try of the season for Tom Youngs. Leicester putting a little bit of respectability. Can't even say the word. The scoreline's looking better. But it is very, very late.
Yeah, as long as you kick it before 0-0.
Needs to take this quickly, because they have the opportunity of a losing bonus point if it's kicked off quickly enough, but they've still got that opportunity.
Yep, one more chance potentially. This was the drive that was well set.
Yeah, Northampton overcommitting at the front slightly. They've got the ability to gamble with the scoreline as it is. And then it was all about trying to stop that forward momentum. And Leicester realised there weren't many bodies there, they just accelerated over the line.
So just a handful of seconds remaining. And the Tigers needing a converted score to get a losing bonus point out of this. Northampton might be happy to settle for the 4 and not go searching for that final try that would give them a bonus point. That looked high.
Yeah, it's around his neck.
And Wayne Barnes gives them the advantage, having had some assistance from Graham Hughes, the TMO.
15 metres from touchline.
It's just a wrap around the neck. It's a lower player. There's no force in it.
It's Alex Moon.
It'll give Leicester better field position as long as George Ford can hit his target.
Got to go for a broke here, Ford. He's missed touch. Collins for Furbank. Northampton, one last roll of the dice. Looking for their try bonus point. Callaway and the touchline. It matters not. Welford Road's been overrun. The Saints have ransacked the place and they're making off with the spoils. 29 points to 15 and a vital 4 points that will lift Northampton up to 5th place in the table for now, with 5 rounds to play. Full time at Welford Road. Leicester 15, Northampton 29.
Yeah, brilliant away from home performance from Northampton. They didn't play all the rugby early on. Leicester bombarded them, but they took their opportunities. And when they took the sting out of the home side, that's when they turned on the gas. That's when they controlled the game. Dan Bigger, excellent at that. Ryan Axu